Welcome to Code and Beyond, a podcast brought to you by Bola Ogunlana. I'm your host, and in today's explainer, we're pulling back the curtain on an emerging threat, one that's not targeting you directly, but instead the very AI tools we're all starting to rely on. Everything we're covering today comes from a really sharp article on Bola Ogunlana's blog called Code and Beyond. We're going to unpack its findings to get our heads around a sophisticated, brand new form of disinformation. So let's dive in. Let's just start with a thought experiment. That helpful AI assistant you use every day, what if it's being secretly fed a diet of lies? What if the answers it gives you aren't neutral facts, but carefully crafted propaganda? This isn't some far-off hypothetical. It's a new reality. We're looking at a completely new kind of disinformation threat. This is a major evolution in information warfare. It's subtle, its scale is massive, and its target is something we've never had to defend before. Here's the fundamental shift. For decades, propaganda was aimed at people, at changing our minds. Now, the battleground has moved. The new goal is to poison the vast digital libraries used to train models like ChatGPT, Claude, and Gemini, essentially to corrupt them from the inside out. Now that we've sketched out the threat, let's give it the name it deserves. Researchers have coined a term that perfectly captures this insidious process, and understanding it is the first step to recognizing the danger. The term is LLM grooming, and it was coined by the American Sunlight Project. Think about it, grooming a large language model. It's the deliberate act of flooding the internet with content that is specifically designed to be found and absorbed by AI web crawlers. The whole point is to teach the AI false narratives so that later it repeats them to you as if they were fact. Now, if this sounds like something out of a science fiction novel, I get it, but it is happening right now. Let's look at the most well-documented, real-world example of LLM grooming in action, a sprawling operation known as the Pravda network. The scale of this operation is just staggering. In 2024 alone, this single network published over 3.6 million articles. That's not writing, that's industrial-scale content production. To put that into perspective, it's pumping out more than 10,000 articles every single day. This isn't humanly possible. It's a fully automated propaganda machine. And here's the most telling number of all: 0. These millions of articles have virtually no human readers. The websites are clunky, they're unreadable by design. They aren't bait for you, they're bait for AI. This entire case is detailed extensively over at bola.ogunlana.net. Let's look at the network's stats. It operates across 182 different domains. It targets audiences in 74 countries using 12 different languages. And it relentlessly pushes more than 200 provably false claims, focusing on incredibly sensitive topics like the war in Ukraine, NATO, and conspiracy theories about U.S. biolabs. So how does state-sponsored propaganda from a banned news site become a plausible-sounding answer from your trusted AI chatbot? It happens through a pretty sophisticated pipeline called information laundering. It's a 5-step process. 1. The propaganda starts on state media like RT. 2. The Pravda network remixes and republishes it across its huge network of fake news sites. 3. Those fake articles start getting cited on more legitimate platforms like Wikipedia, giving them a false sheen of credibility. 4. AI crawlers come along and ingest all this data, the fake articles and the legitimate-looking citations. And 5. The AI becomes contaminated, and it starts repeating these laundered narratives back to us. And the impact is very real. A March 2025 study from NewsGuard delivered a truly shocking finding. When they tested 10 major chatbots on topics that the Pravda network targets, a full third of the responses contained Russian disinformation. Let that sink in. You have a 1 in 3 chance of getting an answer contaminated with propaganda when asking about major geopolitical events. And the AI presents these falsehoods with the same authority and confidence as genuine facts, making it incredibly difficult to tell the difference. Now, this is a serious problem, but the good news is that people are fighting back. So let's pivot and look at the solutions being developed by AI companies, by researchers, and by policymakers. The response is really coming from 2 directions. On one side, we have the large-scale systemic solutions.
AI companies are working on better data filtering. Researchers are building tools to detect these campaigns, and governments are beginning to discuss regulation. But on the other side, and just as important, are the actions that we can all take as users.
This brings us to the most crucial part of this entire explainer: what you can do about it. We are not powerless here. Arming yourself with knowledge and practicing good habits is the single best defense against this kind of manipulation. Here's your checklist for staying safe. Always verify critical information you get from an AI with trusted primary sources. Cross-reference answers with established fact-checkers. Be extra skeptical of sensational claims, especially on political topics. Use the built-in feedback tools to report false outputs. You're actually helping clean the system when you do. And most importantly, stay informed about this ever-evolving landscape. As the source article concludes so well, this fight is much bigger than just technology. It's about protecting the very idea of shared facts and a trustworthy information ecosystem, especially in an age where AI is becoming our main gateway to knowledge. So I'll leave you with this question to think about. How do we, as a society, ensure these powerful new tools serve to enlighten us rather than deceive us? The answer will define our future. For more details and other articles on AI and technology, visit bola.ugunlana.net. Thank you for listening to the Code and Beyond podcast.